Have you ever wondered whether the small decisions you make every day, like what you eat for lunch, what time you go to bed, or who you choose to talk to, could determine whether you live well into your 80s? I've known people who made a fortune but couldn't sleep through the night, and I've known others who had little, yet lived long, lived strong, and lived joyfully to the very end. What's the difference? If you change just one thing today, let it be this. Before every choice, ask yourself, does this nourish my health? Trust me, it might change the rest of your life. Point 1. Health is the foundation of every decision in life. After more than 30 years as a physician, I've learned this one truth. Health isn't just a part of life, it's the ground everything else stands on. Imagine you're building a house. You can pick the nicest paint, the most stylish roof, even luxury furniture inside. But if the foundation is weak, one strong wind can bring it all down. Life is the same. I've met many good, hard-working people who fell apart when their bodies started sending distress signals. High blood pressure, poor sleep, uncontrolled blood sugar. Suddenly their job felt heavier, their mood darker, even their relationships began to slip away. A 67-year-old gentleman once said to me during a visit, "Doctor, I used to think providing for my kids was all that mattered. I put my health last. But now, I don't even have the energy to play with my grandkids. I get tired just stepping into the garden." That stayed with me. We often postpone caring for ourselves, don't we? Because there's always something urgent, someone else, who needs us more. But if we collapse, who carries all those burdens we try to juggle? I'm not asking you to change everything overnight, but I do ask you to understand this. When you care for your health, you're also caring for the ones you love. Health is not a luxury for the sick, it's your right. At any age, you deserve to feel well. 2. The 6 pillars of health are not luxuries, they're necessities. Someone once said to me, "Doc, all this clean eating, sleeping early, exercising, stuff sounds great, but it's not realistic for people like me. I don't have the time or the resources." I hear you, but let me offer another perspective from years of sitting with people at every stage of life. The 6 pillars of health: nourishing food, regular movement, quality sleep, social connection, avoiding harmful substances, and managing stress aren't just for the wealthy or retired. They are not luxuries, they are non-negotiables if you want to live long, live well, and live with purpose. I think of one patient, a 74-year-old widow living in a modest apartment. No fancy gym membership, no expensive superfoods, but every morning she took a walk around her block. She cooked simple meals, called her sister every afternoon, did light stretching and deep breathing before bed. She told me one day, smiling, "Doctor, I may not have much money, but I feel like I'm truly living, not just surviving." That's resilience, that's ownership, because these pillars aren't gifted to us, they're chosen every day, and you can start adjusting them little by little, on your terms. You don't need perfection, you just need to begin. From those simple steps, you're protecting yourself from a future full of regrets. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Health doesn't wait. And no matter your age, life is still full of beauty when your foundation is strong. 3. Your younger years are the golden window to plant seeds of health. Picture this. You're standing in an open field, a pouch of seeds in your hands. The sky is clear, the soil fertile, the breeze just right. The question is, will you plant? Your 20s and 30s, those are the richest soil of your life. That's when your body is most forgiving, resilient, and also most at risk of neglect. I remember talking to a 27-year-old patient. He was juggling 2 jobs, skipping meals, sleeping for hours a night. He smiled and said, "I'm young, doc, I'll be fine." I too nodded but replied gently, "Yes, you are young, which means you have something every 60-year-old wishes they could go back and reclaim." You see, the habits we form at 25 become the health we carry at 55. Your body is a savings account. What you deposit now is what you'll withdraw later, sooner or later. And if you're someone watching this at 50, or maybe you have children or grandchildren in their 20s, remember this. Youth is the time to plant healthy habits, plant a mindset of self-care, plant a love for restful sleep, real food, and meaningful relationships, because what you plant today becomes the strength, peace, and vitality you'll harvest tomorrow, and it's never too late to plant again. As long as you're breathing, the field is still waiting. 4. Your emotional health is shaped by the relationships you choose. Have you ever spent time with someone and felt drained, not from climbing stairs or eating too much salt, but simply from the weight of the conversation? I once asked a patient of mine, when was the last time you laughed freely, laughed from the heart? She sat in silence for a moment, then whispered, I can't even remember anymore. Doctor, emotional health, what I like to call the well-being of your soul, is deeply tied to the people you choose to be around. You can eat all the vegetables you want and stick to your exercise routine, but if every evening you come home to a place filled with tension, criticism, or cold silence, your body still absorbs that damage. Modern research backs this up. Toxic relationships can raise your stress hormones, increase chronic inflammation, and even weaken your heart and immune system. It's not so different from smoking or eating junk food, except this time, you're not inhaling it or chewing it. You're living in it every single day. An old friend of mine, now 84, still sharp and strong, once told me his secret to longevity: I chose a partner I never had to put my guard up around. That stuck with me. You may not be able to change others, but you always have the right to choose the spaces where your heart feels safe. So whether it's your spouse, your friend group, your workplace, or your home, choose the kind of company that gives your nervous system a break, not a breakdown, because sometimes the greatest healing doesn't come from pills or machines. It comes from a kind gaze, a warm hand, or simply knowing, here I can just be myself. And if you haven't found that yet, start looking. Or better yet, be that safe place for someone else. 5. Health isn't about money, it's about time to slow down. Let me paint you a picture. You've got a good job. The paycheck looks great on paper. Everyone says, he's doing well, or she's really made it. But at night, your head's spinning, dinner's rushed, sleep is light and broken, and in the morning, it starts all over again. I once treated a 52-year-old executive, made over 6 figures a year, about his blood pressure sky high, inflammatory markers off the charts. I asked him, how's your eating? He chuckled wearily. Some nights I forget to eat at all. I asked, do you move your body, exercise? He sighed, I don't think I've walked 15 minutes in the last 2 months. You see, health isn't about how much you earn. It's about whether you have time to breathe, time to eat slowly, sleep deeply, hug your loved ones without looking at the clock. If your job is constantly wearing you down, stealing your sleep, wrecking your rhythm, never giving you space to recover, then no salary can buy back what it's taking away. I understand modern life is demanding. We've all got bills, responsibilities. But when you're choosing between 2 paths, one that pays more but breaks you, and one that pays less but lets you live, ask yourself, does this job let me eat, rest, move, and connect with the people I love? Because money can be made again. But lost time with your grandkids, skipped dinners, a body that's worn out, those don't come back with interest. So, today, if you're overwhelmed, pause, look closely. Is your work fueling your life, or is it quietly draining it? 6. Taking care of your health doesn't have to be a grand act. Here's something I've noticed over the years. Many people hesitate to improve their health because they believe it requires something dramatic: joining a gym, overhauling your diet, meditating like a monk. But the truth is, taking care of your health doesn't have to start with something big. I had a patient, Joyce, 67 years old, who once told me, Doctor, I know I need to change, but the whole thing overwhelms me: exercise, cooking, early sleep. I don't know where to begin. I smiled, held her hand and said, then just begin with a glass of water. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, do nothing else. Just drink 1 full glass of water. She laughed. But a few weeks later she came back beaming. That glass of water led to morning walks. Then I started putting my phone away earlier, and now I'm sleeping better. You see, change doesn't start with perfect effort. It starts with one small act done with intention. You don't need 10 exercises, just a 10-minute walk around your block. You don't need a strict diet, just slow down when you eat. You don't need fancy tools. Just turn off your screen 30 minutes before bed. Don't wait until you feel ready, or healthy, or motivated, because health doesn't wait. Where you start doesn't matter. What matters is that you start today, and you'll be amazed. 1 month, 3 months, 1 year from now, how far just one small step done daily can take you. 7. When you say no to what drains you, you're protecting your health. There's something I wish we were all taught earlier in life. How to say no gently, calmly, but with love, you know. When you say no to the things that exhaust you, you're not being selfish. You're doing something deeply powerful. You're protecting your health. I remember one of my patients, Charles, 72 years old, who came into my office looking worn out. Medically, he was fine. No major illnesses. But you could see the fatigue in his face, in his voice. After some conversation, he finally admitted, "Doc, I don't understand why I feel so tired. I'm busy every day helping the kids, doing chores. Someone always needs me, but no one asks if I'm okay." I looked at him and said gently, "Maybe it's time you learn to say, 'Today, I need rest.'" Saying no doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing wisely. It means noticing what's slowly draining your energy and giving yourself permission to breathe. Sometimes, exhaustion isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you've been trying too hard to please everyone, while forgetting that you, too, need care. A job that keeps you up every night. A relationship that leaves you emotionally bruised. A habit that robs you of sleep. These are the quiet wrecking balls that chip away at your 6 pillars of health. And yes, you do have the right to say no. You have the right to put yourself first without feeling guilty. Because here's the truth: if you collapse, who's going to carry all the weight you've been holding? Saying no isn't turning your back on others. It's honoring your own limits so that you can show up fully for the people and things that matter most. So, please remember, a well-timed no can be one of the gentlest and most healing medicines for both body and mind. 8. Every decision should be reflected through the 6 pillars. I want you to imagine this. Every day we make hundreds of decisions, some big, like choosing a career or a life partner, and others small, like what should I eat for lunch? And if there's one truth I've learned in over 30 years as a physician, it's this: every decision you make, big or small, eventually affects your health. That's why I always tell my patients one simple thing: use the 6 pillars of health as your compass. Before making a decision, take just a moment to ask, will this help me sleep better? Will it lead me to eat more healthfully? Will it bring me more peace of mind? Will it connect me with people I love? Will it encourage me to move and take care of my body? Will it protect me from harmful substances or choices? Just one pause to reflect and you may start to see which path is truly good for you. I once had a retired school teacher tell me, "I used to think health was the doctor's job, but after a few hospital visits for high blood pressure, I realized health is the result of the choices I make every day." You see, the food you eat at lunch is just as important as the life partner you choose. A stressful job or a toxic friendship doesn't just affect your mood, can wear down your heart, disturb your sleep, and cloud your memory. So, do this for yourself. Choose what nurtures your 6 pillars of health. And if you can, choose one more thing peace. Because no matter your age, the quality of your life isn't about how much you own. It's about how you feel in your body and in your heart. Every single day. Conclusion: you see, good health isn't some magical outcome. It's the sum of small, daily choices made with intention. When you start filtering every decision through your 6 pillars: nutrition, movement, sleep, connection, risk avoidance, and stress management, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding meaning. strength, and calm to those years. In the end, living a long life isn't the hard part, but living well and living at peace until the very last breath. That, my friend, is the real victory.